Alright guys, it's Chatterbox Reviews, coming to you guys with a video breaking down my most anticipated TV shows for 2025. Alright, so this should be the last video then in this series of videos at the end of the year. The first few ones were recapping kind of or looking back on the year of 2024, along with my tier list video there that I did, ranking every TV show that I saw, like even one episode of in 2024. That was a fun one. And then my top episodes video of the year, and then my top 5 TV shows of the year. And so this one then will be my most anticipated for 2025. So we'll be looking then forward kind of now for the next year in TV. I also will be doing an awards show kind of thing, but that should be probably taking place on my live show, Let's Talk Television, sometime in the next couple of weeks. So that should be a live stream type of video. So it'll be a little different. But anyways, for the most part, we're done with 2024 now. And to me, it was kind of a little bit of a disappointing year in TV, at least for me. That's just my, my experience. But 2025 is looking really, really great. I think this is going to be a real return to some really great TV this year, at least in terms of just like the attention and the amount of high profile shows that are coming out this year. I think is just been unmatched, within the last, I want to say 3 years at least. So yeah, really looking forward to this year. And so in this one, I'm going to be talking about, I think it's about 10 new shows and then 10 returning shows. So in terms of the new shows, that is going to be a little bit more diverse, I would say. I try to pick a crop of a little bit of some different shows here and there for that one. And then the returning shows are going to be obviously more attuned to my taste, even though, all of them are going to be to my taste. It's my most anticipated video on my channel, of course. But the returning shows will be more attuned to my taste with, literally, they will be shows that I have been watching for perhaps years now, or I just saw the first season and now I'm looking forward to the next one. So anyways, stuff like that. So I like including both, though. I like including new and returning. I think it adds some variety here to the list. And there'll be no particular order. So I'll just be listing them and kind of briefly talking about each one of them. So anyways, love to hear your guys' thoughts on some of your most anticipated of the year. What are you looking forward to? And maybe after you hear my list, some of these that maybe you haven't heard of yet. Are you looking forward to them? So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that, what you're looking forward to in 2025 for sure. And if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Would really appreciate that. So let's get into things then. We'll start off with the new shows. And like I said, I think about 10, maybe 11 actually, new shows here to go over in no particular order. These are just the ones I'm anticipating. Oh, and also I do want to mention, there'll be some shows on here, like some big high-profile shows that I will not include here. Something like Daredevil Born Again or, Last of Us Season 2 is a big one. I did watch Season 1. It's not on this list. But anyways, so there's a few, Peacemaker I think is on there too, but there's a few shows that just won't be on this list because I'm just not as interested in them. But I certainly, see that they are, in terms of the general population and just objectively, are probably the most anticipated shows of the year. So I want to get that out of the way before we get into things. But anyways, okay. So in terms of the new shows for 2025, first we're going to start off with Suits LA, and this is going to be on NBC. So yeah, I'm a Suits whore. I have been before it really popped off on Netflix within the last half a decade or so, the last 4 or 5 years. I believe I was watching Suits live since season 5. Or maybe season 4, something like that. But I did watch the show, live. I think I did fall off in the last season, I think season 9 or parts of season 8. So at least for 4 or 5 years, I watched the show live as it aired, and was a huge fan of Suits. So, and it's still one of my favorite shows of all time. Probably within my top 20 or top 25, somewhere in there. So yeah, so I really love Suits. I do think it kind of, tapered off towards the end, especially when Mike and Rachel left. Specifically, I think that season 8 really kind of takes a downturn to me. Though I think it could have been worse. I think they did an okay job with what they had to work with. But anyways, so this will be from the creator of Suits. So Aaron Korsh is coming back for the show, which gives me a lot of hope because there was the spinoff Pearson, right, that happened, that is kind of the other spinoff of Suits that we've gotten so far, and that was depicting Jessica Pearson. They did the backdoor pilot in season 7 for the show, and then they aired the show, and it was kind of a fail, right? It got canceled after the first season. I watched the pilot and maybe like the first few episodes of it, and I don't know, it just lacked the energy that Suits had. And I did look into it now, and I'm like, oh, well, Aaron Korsh wasn't actually involved in any of the writing of that show. And in this case, he is. I mean, he's literally writing the pilot episode and probably going to be, leading the writing room for the show. So I think that's a big plus. I think, when you look at, maybe spinoffs of Suits don't really work. Look at what happened to Pearson. No, I think this will be different. I think Aaron Korsh, the creator of Suits, the main voice behind it, is here and heavily involved in the writing room. So I think this does deserve a chance. And Stephen Amell is the lead role in this spinoff, and he's going to be, leading this law firm in LA. And apparently he's like a past colleague or a friend of Harvey Specter, from Suits. And so now he's moved to LA. So I guess that's kind of the premise. And it has been confirmed that Gabriel Macht as Harvey is going to be coming back in this series. I think it's only a 3-episode arc that he will have. I'm assuming he'll maybe be in the pilot. I mean, I think that would be smart just to get the viewers of Suits interested. He'll probably be in the pilot episode. So we'll see. So maybe that's where they kind of hand off the reins. Like Harvey will come to see Stephen Amell, his character, and then we'll kind of hand off the reins to Stephen Amell and see where he goes. Josh McDermott from Walking Dead, Eugene, is also going to be in this. So, and there's another actor in the cast that I knew and really liked as well. But anyways, so I don't know. Having said all that, I still am very cautiously optimistic about this. The ability to recapture that same kind of vibe or that same kind of magic that the early Suits seasons had, I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Korsh is going to be able to do it and the rest of the writers, or if even Stephen Amell is going to have to, be able to capture that as the lead now instead of Gabriel Macht. But I don't know. I think as a Suits fan, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check out the pilot. I really hope it's good. And then from there on out, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I have to put it in the most anticipated. I'm a big Suits fan. And I think this pilot's really going to be popular. I think this is really going to be a big show for NBC. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll have to see what happens with it. I'm a little cautiously optimistic. Okay. So next then is The Studio on Apple TV+. I believe we have a trailer for this, and I did watch it before this video. So this is starring Seth Rogen, and it actually is like somewhat similar to the franchise, what HBO, the comedy that they just had that came out, and I quite enjoyed it, probably more than a lot of other people. But anyways, so this one though seems even more meta than the franchise. Like, this trailer is like basically a who's who of Hollywood. Like, the amount of actors that they got to be in this series, it looks insane. And I think they all are literally playing themselves, right? So I think it's one of those shows, like, it's almost going to be like Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think, where, like, even more so, because I think even in Curb, like, you get guys like Ted Danson, but he's still playing a character, right? And same with Vince Vaughn. Like, you get some of those big names in Curb, but they're still playing characters. But in this case, like, you'll literally get those actors, but they're playing themselves. But I think obviously it'll be like exaggerated versions of themselves, right? The same way that Curb is. So yeah, it's going to be kind of like that. I think it's going to be very meta to the point where like Seth Rogen and maybe a couple other actors are like the only ones that are actually playing characters. And then they just kind of interact with a bunch of these real life people and real life actors. And it's literally based off this, it's called The Studio. It's Seth Rogen as this kind of studio executive who's in charge of, producing these movies now. And so, yeah, then you're going to have guys like Bryan Cranston's in the trailer. I think even Larry David is in the trailer, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, so you'll have these real actors like acting in the movie, and Seth Rogen's going to have to deal with them. So anyways, it looks quite funny. But to me, like, it almost is in the realm of of like not even quite a TV show because of how meta it's going to be, but we'll see. And this is, I mean, it's kind of a real 50-50 here, right? Of meta shows like this that go for this angle of they either really work or they kind of really don't. So at least that's my experience. So we'll see. We'll see what this has to offer. But the trailer, at least, and seeing these names, like, it could be really great. Like, it could be really great. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what it is. I think it's only 8 episodes, comedy. So, and it's coming out in March, by the way. I forgot to mention. Suits LA is in February sometime. This is coming out in March on Apple TV Plus. Okay, next then, another Apple TV Plus is Your Friends and Neighbors, and this is starring Jon Hamm, of course, from Mad Men and lots of other things recently. So this one, I have to say, I actually almost didn't include it here because the premise of the show just seems very... it's not that interesting to me, to be honest. Like, he's like a hedge fund manager that gets fired, and so now he's like resorting to a life of crime, and he robs his neighbors, I guess. That's kind of the premise. And I really don't like the title of the show, Your Friends and Neighbors. It just, I don't know, I just do not like the title at all. And the premise doesn't seem that interesting, but Jon Hamm's in it. Like, you know, he's back in a leading role on a TV show after Don Draper of Mad Men. Like, you know, I had to put this on here. I am still interested. I'm still intrigued by this. It's on Apple TV Plus as well. And I forget who the creator is, but I think he was a bigger name as well. So, or he or she. So anyways, I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, some things about this kind of are a little off-putting, but overall, I think it has a lot of potential. Obviously, Jon Hamm, it'll just be great to see him in a lead role again. So if nothing else, if he's great in it and the show's just kind of mediocre, I'd be okay with that. I think it'd be great to just see him again. So Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV Plus, and this is coming out in April. It has a date. I think it's April 11th. And I'm not sure if there's a trailer out yet. If there is one, I haven't watched it. But if there is one, I am interested in watching it because maybe it'll make me more excited for the season for when it comes out in April there on Apple TV Plus. Okay, so next then is Task, and this is on HBO, a miniseries starring Mark Ruffalo. But the biggest thing about this is it's from Brad Inglesby, who is the writer and creator of Mayor of Easttown, a great miniseries that kind of came out of nowhere on HBO in 2021. And at that time, I mean, it was tough. It was slim pickings in 2021. It was like springtime. And that show really, to me, like, that was the show, the water cooler show on at that time. And it was really great, really impressive. So, and just, I really like the angle that he takes in exploring these kind of, areas and themes that not a lot of other shows and writers are willing to explore. And he does it, and he does it really well. And specifically in Mayor of Easttown, like kind of teen pregnancy and kind of the world of these rural towns where everybody knows each other. But it's not cliche, like it's not the stereotypes. He goes well beyond that, and it is just really well-written stuff. I think he just has really great talent. So if he's involved, and I have been like looking to see what he would do next after Mayor of Easttown, and it looks like this is it. He is writing as well like a couple films that are coming out, but this is the only TV project that he's involved with, and it is coming out this year on HBO. It was in their coming in 2025 trailer, so just a few clips though, no trailers or anything out for it yet. And Mark Ruffalo is in it, so he is the star, I'm assuming, of it. And who else was... there was someone else. Is it Martha Plimpton or somebody like that? But anyways, there's another actress in it as well that I recognized from that little clip that was in it too. And I do really like her. So anyways, yeah, so the cast is pretty good for this. Mark Ruffalo leading it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what this is. Obviously, it's a high bar, Mayor of Easttown, so I'm not sure that I'll probably go in with expectations a little higher than I should for this series here of Task, but still nonetheless, I think it will be good, and I think Brad Inglesby will deliver again. I have no reason to doubt him so far. So, Task on HBO. Kind of again, I would have liked maybe a better title than that. Seems a little odd, but maybe it'll be fitting. We'll see. I don't know when this will come out, though. I don't think we have a date, but I would think, pretty early in the year. I would say May at the latest for this show, but we'll have to see. Maybe it'll be later than that. All right, so next then is Dope Thief on Apple TV Plus, and this is starring Brian Tyree Henry and Wagner Moura, I believe, who played Pablo Escobar in Narcos. That's at least what I know him from. So interesting to see them two here. Brian Tyree Henry just got nominated for the Oscar for Causeway a couple years ago now, or last year. I think he almost is in line for another Oscar nomination or kind of close to that this year again. So he's great. I mean, he's just a great actor, kind of a lesser known name, but really on the rise, I think, for sure. Well, especially after that nomination at the Oscars, obviously. But so this is an interesting one. I think, I wouldn't say my most anticipated of this list for sure, but it's another one of these Apple TV Plus shows, and I believe this already has a release date, I think it was April that I saw, or maybe even March, actually, something like that. But anyways, so it's the story of these two, Wagner Moura and Brian Tyree Henry, characters who dress up as DEA agents and rob this house, I guess one of their neighbors or something, and it ends up that they are really high up drug dealers and just have a ton of dope, right? Dope thief in their house. And so I guess they steal the drugs, I guess, or they steal the money that they have in the house. And obviously they're disguised as DEA agents, but obviously they're not actually DEA agents. So it creates this whole chaos, right? In that the DEA thinks that, DEA agents robbed the place, and the drug dealers think the, DEA agents robbed the place. And so it just creates this whole thing. And to me, I'm thinking, when I hear that premise and kind of, like I just explained, I'm like, that could be really funny. That could be a really kind of absurdist comedy angle, but it doesn't sound like that's what this is. It sounds like this is a very kind of serious crime drama show. So I'm not sure. I mean, obviously it could be a really good, serious crime drama show as well. But anyway, so just an interesting premise. I think that was the main thing that made me put it here on this list. And like I said, I think it has a release date already on Apple TV Plus. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll give it a chance. Again, with this title, not a great title, just Dope Thief. It could have been maybe a little better, but it's a very literal title because they literally steal dope, it sounds like. But anyways, enough with the title, enough with the semantics. I'm looking forward to this. I'll probably check it out. But yeah, interesting premise. We'll have to see where it goes. Okay, so next one is one of the big ones to me, and it is It, Welcome to Derry, the HBO series based off the original It, from Stephen King, but, mainly the movies, the recent movies in 2017 and 2019 by Andy Muschietti, and I believe he is involved in this, or at least is part of the, team that kind of developed it. I don't think that he's going to have any writing credits or any involvement in that way, in the writing room, but it does sound like he kind of had the concept for it or something, or helped them with it. It's hard to know, when they say from the director of the 2017 It, and it's well, okay, he basically just has a producer credit, but doesn't actually write a single word of a script, right? But anyways, we'll see what it is. But I think this has a lot of promise. I'm a really big fan of the 2017 movie. I think it's just one of the best horror movies, at least to me. I'm not a huge horror fan, but one of the best horror movies to me within the last decade or so. I really like that movie. Yeah, I think part 2 is definitely a lot weaker, but I did like a lot of the stuff in that. So the biggest thing here is Bill Skarsgård is returning as Pennywise for this series, which I think they were intentionally trying to get somebody else to play Pennywise for the series originally, and now it is confirmed that they actually changed their mind and went back to Bill Skarsgård, which to me is like a no-brainer. That is so much better to get him back because he was so damn good in both the recent movies. And I just saw Nosferatu recently, and like I didn't even know that was him. Like he's just insane at playing these types of creature villains in these movies. But anyways, so really great to see him back as Pennywise. That is like the biggest selling point. There's a few actors that I do really like here. Chris Chalk is one of them. So he's in this, and there's a couple other ones too that I definitely recognized, or at least the adult versions, because it looks like from the trailer they'll have some of the kids obviously in this. So I wonder if Chris Chalk is maybe actually playing like a dad of one of the kids or something, or maybe an older version of the kid. I'm not sure, what we're going to see, but they also do have a 3-season plan for the show already, where they're going to do like, one event where Pennywise comes back, and then 27 years earlier, and then 27 years before that even. So yeah, really, and it's a prequel, I believe, to the 2017 movie. So it'll be 27 years before that one takes place. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This has been on my radar for a couple years now. I almost put it in last year's video, and then it got pushed to this year. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I think it has a lot of potential. Do I think it's going to be one of the best shows of the year, like just objectively? Probably not. I mean, it's going to probably lean into the genre stuff with the horror, but I think it has a lot of promise as that type of show to capture the stuff that the movie did. So it also could be pretty disappointing though too. I'm willing to admit that it might be, but anyways, we'll have to see. That's why it's so great this time of the year, because you don't know if something's going to be bad or not yet. So yeah, Welcome to Derry, definitely one of my most anticipated. And I'm not sure when this will come out. I'm assuming probably the first half of the year, hopefully, but we'll have to see with that one on HBO. Next up is perhaps one of, if not the most anticipated of this entire video, really, and that is Alien Earth. And this is going to be on FX. So this is Noah Hawley, and of course he's from Fargo and a few other things that he's done. And so he is adapting Alien for the TV screens for a TV series here. And again, just like Welcome to Derry, the It show, I mean, this has been on my radar for years. I mean, this has been in the works, it seems like, for like 4 years now. And it literally, I almost put it in last year's video, but again, very similar. It got pushed to this year. So we do know it's coming in 2025. That's been confirmed now. And yeah, so I'm just looking forward to this. Alien, the original film by Ridley Scott, is one of, my favorite or best movies of all time. I mean, I just absolutely love it. I think it's a masterpiece. James Cameron's Aliens, I think, is almost as good as that original. Just an amazing movie as well. I also like Alien 3 quite a lot. I recognize that it has some issues, but I like it a lot more than I think a lot of other people do. So anyways, a huge fan of Alien. I think it's just a brilliant concept in that first film, and like even more brilliant, like it's brilliant in the fact that it just works so well in the first film, but it's also brilliant in the way that it's made this lore that has, withstood now for like 5 decades, and created enough stuff for sure for a TV show to explore. And as the title states, it sounds like they're coming to Earth with xenomorphs. So really fascinating. It also takes place, I think, a few years before the events of the first film. So it's a prequel. So that is interesting too, to see. So we'll have to see, what that means and how the xenomorphs are going to come to Earth. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see all of it. I do know one of the stars is Sydney Chandler, who I just saw in Sugar Season 1. So that's interesting. I think she's actually Kyle Chandler's daughter, which is very fascinating. But anyways, she's in this. And then who else? Timothy Olyphant. That's right. He has a role in this series as well. And he seems like he's like the only adult, basically, or like really, older actor in the cast so far for the show. So it sounds like they're going to be like mainly young adults or teenagers kind of for this story. But he is in it. I believe he's playing, what do you call him? Like, basically the role of, what's his name? But anyways, kind of like a drone, right? I think there is a name for him. But anyways, he's playing basically like a drone, like Ian Holm, right? Played in the first film. That's his name. And so I think he's playing that type of character. Count me in. Huge fan of Timothy Olyphant, Justified, all the stuff he's been in. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Alien Earth. I think it has a lot of potential. And Noah Hawley, like, what a great name to be attached to this. Apparently, he's been a fan for a long time. And it also Ridley Scott is producing this. Like, he is involved, and it sounds like he's kind of, given his blessing. So that counts for something too. So yeah, I think this has a lot of potential. I'm really looking forward to this one. Alien Earth. Again, like the It Show, it could be pretty disappointing though. Like, there is definitely a world where this could very much disappoint me, but I'm holding out hope. I'm very much looking forward to it. Next, then, is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and this is a Game of Thrones spinoff on HBO. So, this one, I don't know. I have to say, I'm probably a little less excited for this show than a lot of other people, just because, my buddy Greg, who I've done some of the reviews here on the channel of House of the Dragon with, he's a big fan of, just the world in general, but, he, I believe, has read Dunk and Egg or knows a lot about it and has kind of told me about it, and I don't know, it just seems like a odd show. It seems like a fine, show to do, but as a Game of Thrones spinoff, I think a lot of people are going to be kind of disappointed by this because I think it's, going for a very different tone than Game of Thrones. It's going to be a lot smaller, like pretty much just two characters with Dunk and Egg. In that, now, I mean, just assuming, like, it could be different, but I'm assuming that that's kind of what they're going for. It's going to be a very small concept, small scale type of show with two characters in it at the center. And one of the characters is the actor, I think, is like 10 or 12 years old, which is like very young. So we're going to have this kind of, I wouldn't call it like a father-son dynamic, but something like that, where, the other actor is, like a grown adult and it's a young kid. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be a fine show if you go in with the expectations that it's going to be a very different look at Westeros and this world of Game of Thrones. But I think people that are going in and just seeing it's a Game of Thrones spinoff are maybe a little disappointed by this one. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm definitely going to check out the first episode. But if it is kind of a different tone and it's kind of what I think it might be, I don't know that I will even watch the whole series, to be completely honest. It's only 6 episodes, so maybe I might. But, yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't seem as interesting to me as something like House of the Dragon, obviously. But yeah, I mean, surely, for hardcore fans of Westeros and A Song of Ice and Fire, they're going to love this, and it's probably going to be great. But and that's the thing, like, quality-wise, I don't have any doubt that this show is going to be good. It's just that I'm not a huge fan of the approach that I think they're going to take with it. So that's just me. Okay, so next then is Black Rabbit. And this is on Netflix. It's starring Jason Bateman and Jude Law. So I believe Jude Law, the premise is that he owns this like bar, I guess. And Jason Bateman is his like kind of crazy, brother that is, I guess is a criminal or something like that, who is kind of a rebel, if you will, a rebel character. And so he kind of welcomes his brother back into his life. And of course, his brother, wreaks havoc and brings on this chaos. And so I guess they kind of, go into this life of crime or something like that. Or anyways, they have to right the wrongs of this crime that he's committed. So it sounds interesting. I feel like it's going to have kind of that Netflix polish, which I'm just not a fan of these days. I feel like almost every Netflix show I watch these days always has this kind of Netflix polish, I like to call it. Like, it's just always a little too cliche and like trying to be a little too appealing to everybody, and in that way, like, it appeals to nobody. At least that's my opinion. So I don't know, just from the look of the show, and I can't remember if there's a trailer for this, but I think there's a little clip that I saw. And yeah, I mean, obviously the cast though, with Jude Law and Jason Bateman, that alone puts it on this list. I really like both those guys. I think Jason Bateman's actually directing a few episodes of this, so, you know, basically this is like his next thing after Ozark for Netflix. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'll definitely check out the first episode. We'll see from there. But yeah, I do kind of, you know, I'm a little cautiously optimistic with this. But yeah, seems like a cool premise and some good actors in it for sure. All right, so next then is Death by Lightning. This is on Netflix. This is about the assassination of James Garfield, the U.S. president. And so Michael Shannon, is playing James Garfield, the president, and Matthew Macfadyen is playing the assassin. I can't remember his name, but he is playing the assassin in the series. And who else in it? Like Bradley Whitford, Betty Gilpin is in it, Shea Whigham, love Shea Whigham. So yeah, the cast is looking really great for this. It's kind of a historical, miniseries, right, depicting this event, this assassination. So yeah, I think Michael Shannon, really great actor. Seeing Matthew Macfadyen, I think this is probably his next like big TV show since Succession. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I really am. I'm really looking forward to this series. I think it has a lot of potential. Again, it is on Netflix, but I think it's a historical kind of mini series here. Maybe, we might go without kind of the Netflix polish, if you will, that I was talking about. But anyways, yeah, I really think this could be cool. And I love the cast of this one for sure. Okay, last but certainly not least, like this is the most anticipated of this entire list. It is the Vince Gilligan Show on Apple TV Plus. So I still am calling it this because I don't think it has a title. I just looked into this, I think, within the last few days, and I don't think it has a title yet. I wasn't able to find one. So we'll just keep calling it the Vince Gilligan Show. Yeah, obviously, this was my most anticipated last year, and it was kind of a fool's errand, right? I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to come out, but I got to put it on the list anyways. Well, this year, I really think it's going to come out because they, I think, began production back in January or February of last year, of 2024. So this has got to come out. I know that there'll probably be a lot of budget, and a lot of this stuff will be going in. It sounds like it's actually more of a sci-fi type of show, maybe an apocalyptic show, right? Post-apocalyptic. So we'll see. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes into the production, the effects and stuff perhaps, but, I think it should be ready. It should come out this year for sure on Apple TV Plus. So yeah, Rhea Seehorn in the lead role. Vince Gilligan, like this is his first thing since some of the stuff he did in Better Call Saul and then El Camino. Like, yeah, obviously, I mean, Breaking Bad's my favorite show of all time. Better Call Saul's right up there too. And I think Vince Gilligan is, he's amazing. He's unbelievable. So whatever he does with this show, I can't imagine a world where this is bad. I just can't. I just can't do it. I don't want to do it, but I just can't do it, even if I wanted to. I think this show is going to be incredible, whatever it is. If it's sci-fi, if it's post-apocalyptic, whatever, I think this is going to be really great. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this one, and it really should air this year on Apple TV Plus. It could be later in the year. That'd be fine. But as long as it airs in this year, I will be happy. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one for sure. All right, so then let's get to my returning shows. So again, a little more to my taste, but there's, I think, 10 shows here. So first off is Severance Season 2 on Apple TV+. This is coming as I'm recording this within a week or so now, a few days even, of Season 2 premiere date. I think it's January 17th. So yeah, looking forward to this one, and I will be honest, I'm still not quite caught up on Season 1. I did catch up on quite a bit of it, and then I was like, I might wait a little bit closer too, because I've heard there's a big cliffhanger at the end, so I do want to, kind of dive right back into season 2 after the cliffhanger if I can. So that's what I've kind of done. So I think I have like 2 episodes left of season 1 to catch up on, and then we'll go into season 2 and I'll be live with everybody. So I really enjoy, what I've watched so far of Severance. I really have, high hopes for the ending here. But yeah, really looking forward to the second season of Severance. I think it's going to be easily one of the biggest shows, of the year in terms of critical acclaim, in terms of, discussion, theories, and all that stuff. So yeah, high hopes for this one for sure, for Severance season 2. And some of the reviews have been really great so far. So yeah, really high hopes for this. All right, so next then is Yellow Jackets Season 3 on Showtime. This has a premiere date as well. It's Valentine's Day, actually. Technically, I think it's February 16th, but it's going to be available early on Valentine's Day, the first 2 episodes of Season 3. So I did have this in last year's video. But as, a lot of the news at that time was saying that it would probably be early 2025, so I was wrong. But anyways, Valentine's Day, I will be ready for the first 2 episodes, and I do have really high hopes for this season. I think we're going to get back to the level of Season 1 at the very least, and I think it perhaps could be the best season of the show. It sounds like Showtime's given them a little more time for the scripts than they did for Season 2, that's for sure. And yeah, I think they maybe can learn from a few of their mistakes with Season 2 and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that, like, it sounds like Showtime made them cut, like, an entire episode of Season 2. So hopefully they get, everything together. And I really have high hopes for this season of Yellow Jackets. And even then, even if it's like still at the same level as season 2, some of the highs and some of the stuff in the show, some of the episodes, sequences, storylines, are just unmatched on TV. Like, it's just simply, so unique and so interesting, so intriguing. So yeah, regardless of, the overall quality of the season, I still am looking forward to see what they have for us in store for Yellow Jackets Season 3. And I don't think we have a trailer yet. It's just been a little teaser that says, eat your heart out for Valentine's Day. So, yeah, really looking forward to this. Okay, so then next we have The White Lotus Season 3 on HBO. And the cast for this is pretty good. I mean, what do we have? So we have Leslie Bibb, Michelle Monaghan, and Carrie Coon as well, and then Walton Goggins as our kind of lead people or lead actors in this season of The White Lotus. So, and they're going to, Thailand, I think, right? So a new setting, obviously, a new hotel, as we've now been accustomed to here with the season. So I will be perfectly honest, I wasn't a big fan of The White Lotus Season 1, and Season 2 wasn't that much better to me. It was a little bit better, but I don't know. I've never quite got the buzz and a lot of the, positive reception that the show has gotten over the first 2 seasons. To me, I don't know. I don't think it's, as a comedy, I don't think it's really that funny. And I also don't think it's really that smart at the social commentary and the kind of satire of things either. I think the mystery elements are kind of cool and that, but I don't know. I just never have really got, what other people have seen in this show. Nonetheless, I have checked out both season 1 and 2. I plan to check out this season as well, if not only for Walton Goggins, but yeah, I think, potential for this season for sure for The White Lotus, and yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe this season will change and maybe I'll love this season and maybe I will get on board with it, but we'll have to see. But nonetheless, very much anticipating at least checking out the first episode and seeing what the story is for this season and how that all comes into play. And I believe Jennifer Coolidge is returning again this season. I think that she's going to be kind of the anchor for each season of the show going forward. But I mean, if there is another season of White Lotus, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see her back too. Okay, so then Dark Winds Season 3 on AMC. Again, I had this in last year's video, but it turns out it was going to come out this year. So looking forward to this one. I don't think I know much details. We do have a release date already. I think it's in March, I want to say, or maybe early April for Dark Winds. So yeah, I thought Season 2 was quite a bit of a step up from Season 1. And so I think season 3 has a chance, to be on that same level again. Like I said, I think we have a release date. I think there actually has been maybe a trailer of it. I think I did watch it. It was more of like a teaser, so it didn't really reveal that much. But it did look kind of cool. Same type of thing that we've seen in the other 2 seasons. So really looking forward to this show. I think it's been kind of a unique show. Zon McLaren has been really great, in a lead role. So it's just great to see that. And so I really am interested in seeing, season 3 of Dark Winds there. All right, so next is The Walking Dead, Dead City, season 2 on AMC. So you know what? I'm actually quite, this is pretty highly anticipated this season because they are doing 8 episodes instead of 6, which I think is pretty big. It's the first spin-off season of any of the Walking Dead stuff to get 8 episodes. So they're doing 2 more episodes. And I don't know, I just think that says a lot. I think that says a lot about, AMC investing in this season, respecting, that the writers have a story to tell and that they need some more time to tell it. That means we're going to get more time with Negan, back as Negan, right? And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season. It could be kind of disappointing, just like Daryl Dixon season 2 was to me. But I like season 1 probably more than other people. I kind of really enjoyed it, actually. It definitely exceeded my expectation. It wasn't the best show of the year or anything, but I enjoyed it for what it was as a Walking Dead spinoff. And it definitely exceeded my expectations going in. So, I'm looking forward to season 2. I kind of have high hopes for this. I think it could be, one of the best seasons of these spinoffs. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And obviously, we'll have to see how Maggie comes into this because I'm interested in Negan's storyline a lot. And I know where that's going to go, or probably where it's going to go, but I'm not sure exactly how Maggie connects into things and how her storyline is going to go. So definitely interested to see where that happens. But anyways, this is really interesting because I think Daryl Dixon season 3 would be coming out this year as well. It's not on this list, but I think it's going to be coming out this year as well. So the way that kind of slots in, I feel like Dead City is probably going to be even after Dark Winds. Right? It'll be probably after Dark Winds. So Dark Winds 6 episodes. So you do some math. So probably May or June, I would say, for Dead City. And then Daryl Dixon will probably be in September, October there. And that's probably what AMC will do in terms of their Walking Dead content for this year. So yeah, looking forward to it. Again, probably May or June that we'll see this season. Okay. So next then is Sweet Pea Season 2, and this is on Starz in North America, but I think Sky Atlantic in the UK. I don't know exactly if we'll see this season this year. Actually, now that I think about it, I kind of have my doubts. But we'll see. Maybe late 2025. Although, to be honest, the production for this show can't take that long. It's only going to be 6 episodes. And so, yeah, I think it definitely could. I think it could come out. Ella Purnell is, I think, shooting Fallout Season 2. I think that's in production now. So whenever she's done that, maybe she comes in and does Sweet Pea, finishes it up, and maybe they get it out. But yeah, so I love Sweet Pea Season 1. You'll see it in my top 5 TV shows of the year. I thought it was really impressive. Not perfect, but really impressive. And it leaves the door open, like just a perfect amount to see what could happen in another season of the show. And just within the last couple of weeks, it's been renewed for this second season. So I think it's really interesting to just see where they're going to go with it. I'm really intrigued. And so, yeah, definitely anticipating season 2 of Sweet Pea coming out at probably, if it does come out, late 2025. Okay, next then is Hacks Season 4 on HBO Max. This is, going to be the final season, I think. That's what they've said. Of the show, and so that's just interesting in and of itself, and also that Hacks has been, one of the best comedies for me the 3 years that it's been on here. Hannah Einbinder and Gene Smart are easily one of the best duos on TV, if not the best at this point. So just great to see what they're up to. And the season 3 finale did end. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it did end on a cliffhanger that kind of sets things up now for season 4 as the final season. So we'll have to see. Ava and Deborah, sounds like they're working together at her job at late night there. So we'll have to see where this season goes. I do have kind of hopes that it probably might be the best season of the show thus far. So we'll have to see. We really will have to see, but I am anticipating it. Of course, going to be watching it, and then when the show ends, they've already got another show in development. The team behind Hacks, I believe it's Paul W. Downs, Jen Statsky, and Lucia Anelio. They have already got another show in production with Kaylee Cuoco attached. So it sounds like that's they'll be going right into that after Hacks ends. And that even could be coming out this year as well. So, looking forward to where they go for sure after Hacks is done. Okay, so then one of the most anticipated, probably my number 2 then of this video, it's The Righteous Gemstones Season 4 on HBO. Righteous Gemstones, like I just said with Hacks, for the 3 years it's been on, has been unbelievable, incredible TV. Eastbound and Down, one of my favorite shows of all time. Vice Principals right there. And Righteous Gemstones may even be, if this season really comes together and they really deliver, I might crown it as the best Danny McBride HBO show. Honestly, it might actually overpower the other 2 I mentioned. No pun intended there with Kenny Powers. But it may actually surpass those 2 shows because Gemstones has been unbelievable the first 3 seasons. Season 3 I thought was, one of, it's probably the best season of the show, I would say. So season 4, I've seen a few of the clips. It seems really good. They've had a lot of time now because it didn't actually come out last year when I thought it might in last year's video. So they've had a lot of time now to work with it, and the clips that I've seen, they're on a boat. I don't know. I think it looks really cool. And one rumor that I read just recently is that someone named Bradley Cooper could have a role in this season of The Righteous Gemstones. What? That's insane. I mean, Bradley Cooper is my favorite actor, in the movie space, and he doesn't really dip his toe in TV. I think he did a guest spot on Abbott Elementary a couple years ago or last year. But this would be absolutely massive if he was in even just a cameo thing in this season. So that alone, I was already excited for this, but now I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this season of Gemstones, and hopefully the rumor is true and he's in it. So absolute full faith in Danny McBride and his team to deliver another great season of TV, and I'll say it right now, I think this could definitely be my number 1 TV show for this year, but we'll have to see. If that comes true or not. But I'm not sure when this will come out. I don't think we have a release date for it, but I wouldn't think any later than April or May. I think this is going to be pretty soon in the first quarter or first half for sure of 2025, because I think this is pretty much ready to go, that I would say at this point. So any day now, I think we'll get a release date announcement. Okay, next then, I had to include this, obviously, Stranger Things Season 5. I probably shouldn't have waited this long to even say it, but it is what it is. Yeah, Stranger Things Season 5, obviously the final season of the show. This perhaps has the chance to be not on the same level, I wouldn't go that far, but it has a chance to be similar to Game of Thrones, the final season. I mean, this is going to be absolutely massive everywhere on the internet, going to blow up Netflix when it drops, and they're probably going to do 2 parts of it for this season. So, going to be absolutely massive for this year of Netflix. Going to be probably the biggest TV show of the year in terms of pop culture and that. So yeah, final season of Stranger Things. For me personally, I think season 1 of Stranger Things is unbelievable. I think it's really, really great. And then every season since then has just been trying to replicate that and failing, in my personal opinion. I think season 1 is by far the best season of the show. But I still got a lot of enjoyment out of season 4. I think it's probably the second best season of the show. They did a really good job with that and setting up Vecna. So, looking forward to season 5, the final season. I'll definitely check it out. I want to, finish the show, after spending a few years now with it. A few years even just since the last season, but you know what I mean. So yeah, looking forward to the final season. Being a part of the conversation as well will be a big thing. So yeah, looking forward to Stranger Things Season 5. Probably should have mentioned it earlier, but whatever. We're here now. I did mention it. So there you go. And then lastly, my last anticipated show of 2025 is going to be Beef Season 2 on Netflix. So Beef was a miniseries in 2023. I think it was very early 2023. I did review it here on the channel. Really big fan of that. Stephen Young, Ali Wong, just really great. I did think it was a perfect season. It did kind of lag a little bit, but overall, really great series there. And so now they're doing and making it an anthology series, which, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this type of thing where they just take a really popular show and make an anthology, but because it usually doesn't work out that well. But anyways, I have high hopes for this one. The cast for this season, that they're going to do like a whole new cast now, right? So no more Stephen Young and Ali Wong, but Lee Sung-jin, the creator, is coming back and writing the season again. We have Song Kang-ho. We have the grandma from Minari is in this. And who else? I mean, there was a lot of other names that I'm forgetting now that were really great. I'm just forgetting them right now. But anyways, a really great cast set for this season. And I'm not sure exactly the premise. I'm not sure that we've got that, if that's been released yet, but I'm assuming it'll be something similar to, the first season, where something is going to set off a beef between two characters or something like that. So, yeah, I hope this should come out this year. There's been a lot of announcements about it and news, so I'm taking that as a hint of, like, yeah, they're probably in production or just about to go into production. So, yeah, looking forward to this. I think it should come out this year, probably towards the end of the year. But yeah, I really like season 1. I love what Lee Sung-jin is working with here in his, kind of, perspective on things and his writing. I think he's a great comedic writer. So, yeah, really looking forward to a season 2 of this show. Even though I'm not a big fan of anthologies, I think this show will get it right. I think they'll do a really good job with it on Netflix. So, anyways, that'll just about do it then for my most anticipated shows of 2025. Like I said off the top, there's a few here that I didn't mention. Last of Us Season 2 being a big one. Peacemaker Season 2. So there's a few shows, of course, that I'll watch that weren't necessarily on this list probably, but I'm just not as, anticipating them as much as these ones. And of course, as always, with every year, there will be some shows that I don't even know exist right now that I will watch, and one or two of them will probably end up in my top TV shows of the year video by the time this time next year. So we'll have to see. But anyways, that'll just be it for this one. So love to hear your guys' thoughts on your most anticipated going into 2025. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this one, and we'll see you then in my next video.